Good morning. Hey, Breakfast Poetry Live, April 3rd, 2024, National Poetry Month. I'm going to be perkier than yesterday. Yesterday was so bewildering. The first time that I was going to my full day of work after this, but boring. Okay, so we're going to start with a weird phrase, stringing together just sort of, I don't want to say random. Random is a word that I feel like I've been flooded with the word random since the 1990s. So I hate to say random phrases. It's just one of those things that annoys me. So I'm sorry if you love that word. I'll probably say it myself again at some point. Focus. Okay. Now I have to go get a thesaurus and be like, random. Okay, it's just odd little, maybe, I don't want to oversell them by saying they're weird. They're just phrases you might not think of right on off the cuff that would come to me at different times in the past few months, and I wrote them down. And then I found this one last night because I was unexpectedly rearranging some furniture, spur of the moment, found in a drawer that I pulled out of a desk, a post-it I wrote to myself thinking, this is a brilliant phrase. Uh-oh, I jammed my dead father's stapler. Now, I don't think, pardon me, that I thought that was brilliant. I think I probably just had a moment where my father had recently died, which was a sad thing. And I had his stapler that had been in this house. I've lived in this house. I mean, not the whole time, but grew up in this house, came back to this house. And his stapler was here that I'd seen sitting around the house since the late 70s or whatever. And I jammed it. And so then what happens? It's, what is it like? Is his ghost going to come and unjam it? Or is it just oh, insult to injury? So I just went on far too long about that. I'm in a good mood. So that is when I thought I'll just throw that in the can. But then I just had it sitting on top of the can, the word balls can, which contains the little slips of phrases. And so what we do is draw one out of the can every day of April, National Poetry Month, and string them together as a poem sort of put together by the cosmos throughout the time. And the one from today is Only Spit on Your Own Broom. May I say, I got that phrase from a kid where I work at the school where I work who was telling me all these things. I don't remember how it came up. The thing I always think of from Death in Early America, by whichever the author's first name is and their last name is Coffin. They talk about some of the superstitions surrounding death, shoes on the bed, somebody's dead. I don't think they rhymed it, but the idea was don't put your shoes on the bed. And I don't know if they meant by while you're wearing them or just don't set them on your bed. But then that was going to cause someone in a superstitious way. That was going to cause someone to die. And so this little girl in first grade was just sort of telling me these things. I don't remember how we got on it. And one of them was if you're worried about bad luck, you spit on your broom. And she was sweeping my floor as she said this. I work in a room where sometimes the kids help clean because sometimes they make a mess. And so she's sweeping for me and she goes, I'm only going to spit on my own broom, Missy. And so I was like, oh, well, that is going right into my document. So thank you, friend, for that bit of wisdom. I like it. So that one will go into our String of Pearls poem for 2024 National Poetry Month. Third year in a row. Did sweater poems 2 years ago. Poetry hats last year. This one, they're gonna go on coffee mugs if I ever get my block carved. And it just sounds like to me, to my ears, I would think, why don't you just get your block carved? Because I can't even go into all the things in life that are preventing that. So maybe it is not meant to be. Maybe I should just draw some. Maybe I should scribble one with markers and yeah. All right, that's a thought. Ghost mug, and I was just listening to None of This Is Real podcast, and they were doing a Spooky Forests episode, so thank you. Oh, and these are the earrings that I bought, that Domini made, and they're like rain clouds with these, I can't remember what stone, is Amazonite? Anyway, there's stones that, make you more creative and awesome. I believe that goes on. That the earth would give that. That God would give that. Hey, I'm going to make some stones that calm you down. I love that. All right, so we did that. Poetry Freaks, the game is the next thing. But first I'll read the poem. No, I did write one. I wrote 2 poems, Crossing Enigmatic with Scream of Outrage. We take the Poetry Freaks game and roll D30 for a poetic mood or theme, roll D100 for a beautiful word. This is something I will do every day of National Poetry Month, and then write a poem about it that night or before the next morning's broadcast, whenever that may be. And I did write one in my notebook, but I also wrote another one on my document, and I'm not going to read them both. I'm just going to take a chance and read the one right here in my document, Scream of Outrage by way of enigmatic. Never fit to swallow you, scream of outrage, never could. We tore, you and I, ravaged new paths of splintered wood, shredding peace in hysterical plumes, helter-skelter, wild. You, flamethrower, blitzing purer souls in the hands of a fitful child. Docile now, those sleepy pets, sleep on, as I swallow otherworldly peace the river long. Thank you. Scream of outrage by way of enigmatic. Here we are. So I enjoyed that. Oh, and I was boasting in the last day or two that I did order some dice. Look, this is a D100. This is like, I have been told, or I've heard that this is more of a novelty thing, because yeah, it rolls like a ball, and then you're like, well, I think the topmost number is 28 or something like that. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I have my little tray that I don't remember where I got it. I think from Target. It's got a record player on it, like when you look down on it. And I've got this coaster I made Christmases ago when I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a coaster. And so it'll land there. See, that's my plan. It won't just keep rolling. It's going to roll downhill on this cushion. And so but first, let us start with D30. So Poetry Freaks, the game. Here's a board game, is upside down, featuring portraits I did of poets years back, 2 years ago. And on the other side, 2 columns of instructions, or whatever you call it, gameplay directions, stuff, information, ideas, and then the themes, and then the words. And we're just going to deal right now. In the game, you invent a poet, and hopefully more people are playing, and everybody's inventing a poet, and everybody's being theatrical, and everybody's using a whole lot of mood and drama or something like that, and creating a character that you don't break. And then you do roll for a poetic theme. You roll for a word to weave into your poem. So that we're definitely sticking to. But in the game, you're gonna like real quick write a poem, and then all the game players, all the poets in the game, are gonna vote on the best poem. So you're gonna write to entertain, but you can't vote for your own. So you really have to bring it, and that's the game. I'm just playing a Breakfast Poetry Live version, wherein we mine the themes and the words. So I'm going to start with my D30, boasting with my big fancy dice now. All right, and we rolled, it's still rolling, it's rolling downhill to the thing. And that is, I have to look at it because it's hard, 29. All right, so the 29 poetic theme mood is laughing wrong. Yeah. Yes, I did write these poetic moods when my man friend was making the game last fall. And laughing wrong is something that I think is a human thing that occurs sometime, where you're like, oh, I wasn't supposed to laugh at that. I wasn't supposed to make that joke. Schadenfreude, etc. Okay, D100, look at this. I am now a glorious nerd, rolling D100 forward. Oh, Lord, it rhymed. And there she goes. The topmost number is 32. So let's look at word number 32. On our list of gorgeous, glorious words for National Poetry Month, cruel, by way of laughing wrong. Wow. Yeah, that's almost 2 on the nose, isn't it? But I'm going with it because the muses said so. The muses, they did say so. How am I going to remember this? Because I didn't bring a pen, because I'm in a different room, as you can see. Hello, fat baby number 12. My black print from a few years back. I got a lipstick right there. I could write down cruel by way of laughing wrong. Oh, guess what I could do? I could just go back and watch this if I forget. If I forget entirely, I have a plan. All right. Okay. And I put that there. I'm going to read a poem. I'm going to read a poem and then visit one more line from the Milk Bowl of Feathers or Essential Surrealist Writings. I'm going to read from Ordeal in French Lipstick. The second book, I always say it's like the first book of poetry that I published, but no, the 10 years before or something. Yeah, 10 years before I, pardon me, slipped this secret book of poetry into the mix in the early days of like publishing it with Amazon, called The Eye of Tony Hicks. And I didn't even put my name on it. I put the Beatnik Housewife. So I urge you to go dig up that artifact. All right. Okay. I'm reading French Lipstick Foudroyant. Please pardon my French, literally, because I majored in German and so many silent letters, and I had to glue my glasses back together before I started. So now I kind of have to wipe the smudge off of them and hope they don't break again. Real life. On Breakfast Poetry Live. Oh, they did. The super glue came apart. Let's get through. Foudroyant. Not terrible, but lightning. In what way is lightning soft and brown as wine? Silvery glow, no glint. We never held hands or meandered. We avoid the ballrooms, the shows. I run, bolt, smothering acquaintanceship. Lightning on the lips to let them know you know that you are terrible. Thank you. That does come from a time in my life where I was seeking comfort in French lipstick, which is too expensive. So mostly what I would do, although I did throw down for one or two of them, I would just read the names of the colors. Foudroyant, lightning, but why is it brown and silvery? Silvery, well, no, there was no silvery. That was the point. I wasn't listening to my poem. And I would just look up what the names meant and be like, why would you call it that? And really just go down into the weeds, which was in the bathtub. It was such a weird time of life. I had this big bathtub and it was a beautiful bathroom. And I was like, it's my office and I'm a poet and I'm looking up these French words that they called lipstick. Anyway, thrills. Okay, final thing before we just really go off the rails. Again, Milk Bowl of Feathers. I did mark a place because there's a final line. Oh, how do I even know who wrote this? No, love is not dead. And I don't get an author, do I? They usually tell the author, translated by. Oh, maybe it's at the top. I folded it down. I'm sorry, I'm disorganized. I found this just moments ago. And this might be one of those things, unless this person, this is Robert Desnos. I'm sorry to turn my lamp on. It makes a freaky light, but I can't see, But anyway, sun is coming up. Robert Desnos, one of our surrealist poets from the end of the No Love Is Not Dead, where, man, I really wrote a lot of notes on that page, where you can see better if I knock everything over and get the lamp out of the way. Yep. Final line of the poem is, oh gosh, I couldn't figure out who it was, and it says this, the very last two lines. I, who am Robert Desnos, to love you, wanting no other reputation for my memory on the despicable earth. And I wrote Marcellus next to that. And damn it, above the whole paragraph. He was just saying how who am neither Ronsard nor Baudelaire, I, who am Robert Desnos, and who, for having known and loved you, am easily their equal. For having known and loved you, am easily their equal. I, who am Robert Desnos, to love you, wanting no other reputation for my memory on the despicable earth. The Milk Bowl of Feathers. Essential surrealist writing. Sometimes real steamy in a good way. So I think that's a good note to end on. Good. It's National Poetry Month. Use the word good today. Just kidding. Use an extreme word today. Extreme words. And drink your coffee out of a ghost. Thank you for joining me. Third day of National Poetry Month. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful Wednesday.